I thought where they convert to.
This guy, since I was 9, bro, I remember the day I went to class. I remember that day in church, pastor said, those prayer will be say people they go to pray, people go to fall, people when they back when even hear the prayer go to fall. I can't prayer.
So
Like
you
the prayer,
I
I
pray so
wish
you
I
fall.
follow. I swear, God, I was to give you another story about falling. Bro, my ex pastor
That means
say,
say
oh,
the evil spirit for your body strong.
guy, when I've been this small, I promise you, I've never understood that whole falling thing till this day, bro. I've never understood that. When I've been this small, one of my cousins, and I was living with her, she been a step for her boycott at that time, right? So it be like say she goes school where they give her biscuit to chop, where she join one, this Obanje secret society called where primary school they use sweets
They always talk in one
they
school.
initiate.
Call your school name, man.
Don't be my school, she don't go by school now. Nah, but this is real gist. I swear, this I'm telling you is real fucking gist, right? Like
Yeah.
it was so bad to the point where, cause her mama been get like a supermarket, these like local supermarkets where they did like close to markets, like better market where they sell any type of this shit. So, they will give her pan filled with plantain, granite, everything. Make she go sell for road, bro. This guy will go come back with empty tray and 20 naira. Like on a steady, this guy. I would come back from school and do my homework. I would just hear as the mama they flog and with pepper for back. Like this is like on like at least 2-3 times every week, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing with that girl no do. We last she can't confess say she did all those they initiate time, say person give her biscuit shot and ever since then she did go meeting for night. They say okay, my mom see come here, come carry everybody for the house, good deliverance. Where we can't go for deliverance. I don't know if it's happy overcomers for Nigeria. You don't have overcomers.
Yeah.
God. Now only deliverance did they do now. Where everything within inside your body must die before. So we go deliverance now. My auntie, she's like the person where they help us for. She's not really my auntie, but she's not my auntie. So now she go first now. Mother uncle because they go, they do their own. Everybody they fall. All the niggas, but I say this is what people they do. So when you get to me, I go do that. Bro, now you reach my turn, I say I want to feel this anointing by force. This bastard, what they did? So
push it back.
One hand for my lower back like this, right? Come use the other hand, come push my head. My guy, how no go fall? Like they go use that hand to hold you, make you no fall reach ground, right? They go use the other one, they hold you, they spin you, they spin. So as they spin me around, the thing come they shoot me. So I can't start to laugh.
No, why they laugh? The spirits ready inside you, they laugh. They laugh.
I was trying to pretend though, like I was feeling the thing, but my guy, the thing was like Dangolova, bro. You guys said, like, bro. They spin like they laugh, they do, finish, can't leave me. Do you know that this bastard, after God forgive me?
Yeah, there's a lot of power there inside that thing.
Come on, yeah. No power did that shit. After, do you know? Wait now, they can't tell.
Confess.
Listen, they can't tell me.
A regular customer. They use it for different church.
Bro.
They use it for different church. This is why they say power did that thing. How many men of God don't touch your head? They don't use. They go set leg for your back.
How person go do inside microphone? People with the back, far back, go the fall. Say now, which anointing, my guy? Which anointing carry you?
Oh, brother, I hear so many stories. You don't feel them? You don't feel them?
See me. I don't, but people don't feel that. I just never understood that thing. I never understood. They speak in tongues before you know that they sing for you. I don't know how
they get. You know when I cancel speaking in tongues for some churches, some people, because apparently it's when you're in the spirit where you're supposed to speak in tongues. But there are some churches where they get like pastor school. They teach them how to speak in tongues. Like they teach them.
How many credits?
Like I swear, like I don't sing out to church. Maybe they come. But bro, like when the pastor say, yeah, like they teach us everything, how to preach, like the kind of topics to talk about that will actually grab the audience, how to speak in tongues. I say, they teach us speak in tongues too. I say, yes now, you guys learn now. So, okay, well, I be teaching that the spirit they teach that one by one hand. I know say
Bro, that's the most foolproof thing you can never tell somebody because they cannot translate
So
it.
basically, on a performance. So they
Something
perform
way,
for us with that now.
yes now they teach that to perform.
something way
But
person if you don't
More,
translate.
can you imagine? Like, that means say church now second place for these people. Like, bro, that's wild, man. They're the
yeah.
crazy.
So why I can't take cancel those overcomers guys, right? Last, waiting after the whole thing, right? Normally they will come give report of how they can't tell my mom say say they don't do deliverance, but that the one with the inside me be like say stubborn pass. so
I'm money they want.
Boy, see,
I never like that. So say we guys, my mom see guys register for another 1 week of the deliverance, and the gas spend that like 100K, 150K. Now from that day, Jack, we don't see those people again. So I can't ask my mom see like couple days later, like weekend. But see, I thought you said you're going to go this place every day for 1 week. We only go 2 days. What's happened? She said, I have to go in there. I forget those people first.
Nah, for that.
I said, what happened? She said that they said that the one inside me is the greater one. Greater than
Look and say you now you man. That's what I said, yo. Your money go play.
Your money, bro. Everything they care about, my guy.
I knew that.
Laugh. I use laugh. Give my okay. Let's be going to our
So can you see now? So demon
don't
don't inside you since
man, you don't be spot demon.
True life story. So one of my this thing, I call him uncle, but him from my dad's village, right? So this guy, like I remember back then, man. Wow, every time this guy different girls. I'm not after this one now in the Lambert there, man. So later the talk say, you shut up your mouth. So the contact say he gets juju, he get witchcraft for body, like all this village say mother or something like that, give up. So they can't do deliverance. They can't change. So just imagine say normally they always go like club and all this thing before they can't change. They can't only go this church. Damn. Not be that by fire. The other one, not be Martin on fire. The second one.
Winners Chapel, Living Word,
Redeemers.
Overcomers, Redeemers.
Damn, I don't forget. I remember the church of Port Harcourt, the team, like they don't get it big, right? But like all these churches where they say now only zinc and plank. Like like okay.
Is he Watchman? Is he Watchman?
I can't remember.
Bro, if it's Watchman and people go and
hold on. At the call, no verse. Give me a few seconds. My sister there, my accent. She go remember that church. I go finish the story for now. See us watching all these churches. They don't carry go many places, though.
Bro, I don't follow Martin of Fire do their 1 month fasting. I be 1 week. Bro, fast now.
And that didn't still come out.
The crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, we do 1 month. I think was it 1 month or 1 week? I can't remember. Bro, that Martin of Fire, that fire. I know they do. I'm dry.
I don't come back.
Sorry.
That OPM. I know it's be OPM.
What be the full name? I know OPM though. I know OPM. I feel like
OPM, man.
I know OPM.
What so OPM? Yo, OPM. Now like 2.0 of Mountain of Fire. I promise you. Now only to cast out demon is sabi. So he can go OPM, right? He will go OPM. He can like that guy change. Now only suits that guy they wear, man. I swear to God. Now only suits like all these shine suits. All this. Now only suits they wear. So he got usher, come burn this thing. You will come our house, come visit every morning by 6 o'clock. Because they call me Bobo for house. Go wake all of us up. Go they pray, die by fire. Go do deliverance. Everything, everything don't finish, right? But right, check out right now, right? Guess where this guy did? The guy is a native doctor for village.
Die by fire.
Guy,
Now the fire
hustle, man. Hustle. Forget.
No. Like you said,
I was choked by any means necessary.
They do this thing. Run a jazz or waiting, but nah, this thing now.
In get Facebook.
That means I don't know, man. That means it's not come out before because all those people like no those people I don't trust the OPM. Nah. I think they use that for money, man. You go come do if I go come out, you go want take start ask my papa for money.
Now hustle now. I'm trying to tell you now hustle. Last man.
But now you don't do it. Maybe don't do it. They don't catch up. I say, I will go back to my
Where you go the more lucrative one?
My man,
don't see
fucking TBM.
But even now that I think about it, reason I'm saying before Christianity come Nigeria, right? Before Christianity and Islam come Nigeria, shall we been there? We still get the gods we they worship that time. Now before they come carry all these guys, and everybody do all right. Unless now one can tell me say all those people they go hell. Now only God know that sabi that one. Me personally, I don't subscribe to that, but you know.
See, don't subscribe.
I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe that
but
everybody
that's true, but that's not fair.
Think about because
they say life is not fair though.
Yeah, but God is supposed to be a fair God, right?
Mm. Yo, I see this on Twitter, yeah. I see talk say. I just like say what they reach out do. Actually, they'll say, what did happen those 400 years when black people were slaves in America?
Alpha markets now. No, you think that?
I mean, if you ask God that, He will tell you, see, you get why. I mean,
you get why.
Oh, but if at the end of the day everybody we're hustling to go to heaven or hell, I mean that's if you believe in that shit. So there's no why again for why I'm going to hell, because at the end be that. So if you tell me see all those people we know here about Christianity at all of them go hell. Why? So what's the why for that one?
I mean, religion is a very delicate topic, and I don't want to be recorded saying any of this.
I mean, I just get curious, dude. I just get curious because
I have my own reservations, you know.
Yeah,
like everything. I think you have to apply logic to it too, to a certain extent. Like religion is fine and fair too, but obviously, like you can't tell me that somebody that just did not have somebody like just did not come across maybe a Christian or wasn't raised in a Christian home, but has actually been doing like the right things their whole life will die and go to hell. That type of thing.
Yeah.
So now
argument.
Subjective now. Right thing. What is the right thing?
Right thing. I mean,
see that one.
Everybody has the morals.
Everyone has a moral. Bam. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
basic morals now.
It's subjective in some cases, but guy, no matter like where you come from, like or whatever, however you grew up or whatever. When you want to do the wrong thing, when you're about to do the wrong thing, inside you know say this thing where you want.
I pray you. Pray you.
You go know, my guy.
They don't get any. They don't have.
No, I'm not saying you won't. I'm not saying you won't have remorse. I'm not saying you must have remorse or you must have morals.
But you can't actually say that, bro, because then get some people there for this life. They not send though. They not get emotions.
I promise you, dictator.
I mean,
you don't understand what they talk. I don't talk. Say they not gonna show emotions. I'm not saying that they will listen to the voice inside them.
Some
I'm
people
saying
feel like
you will not say this shit is
that's because that's how you're thinking, man.
Fortunately, I think you're wrong on that point.
Well, that's how you use it.
Some people were raised, differently, right?
Yes.
And they did not really get to see like the good things of life that you have seen, so to them they see life as unfair. Like if you've always been surrounded by hardship, like even you doing the wrong thing, you feel like it's just
everybody gets
it is what it is.
Let me tell you, okay, for example, now dictators, right? If you say that children they go find anything wrong in killing people, I don't like that. Like what?
Nah, you can't tell me that. It's not the example you give. You see, person, for example, now where they born into like say. Struggle. Let's say you are born into a struggle or like a nation in unrest would be say like as they born you they carry gun put for your hand.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Like, those people will say they know that basically militants or like the militia that
exactly
right.
Those are those people.
If they knew better, they would do better.
But if it's that your papa get money or something,
No. When I mean dictators, I mean like say if they kill person, like to them a normal thing, man. Like
no me say they bad. No me they don't.
No. Fortune, another example. Fortune, like all those terrorists that have been brainwashed to think that if they fight the West or whatever, that they're going to die and then they go to heaven and they'll have like 99 virgins or something like all those things. That's all those things. Yeah. They feel like they think they're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So.
Man.
Everything
but I mean, again, that's again part of the argument. Like someone like that now, or those kind of like that kind of 9-year-old kid now that like since he was 5 or 6, he's been carried an AK-47. He's probably killed 200 people. Now he's 11 and he gets shot dead. Like, is he going to heaven or hell?
Yeah, those kind of things are very.
You understand? Like, how do you like somebody really know? Like
exactly, you can't exactly.
So, and this kind of person, obviously, they probably never had the chance to even like know God or know what Jesus.
And that's why I keep saying that, like everyone as a Christian. I mean, most people that are Christians today just happen to be raised in a Christian family. Like, if you are not, you will not be a Christian today. You get what I'm saying?
Unless you are converted.
Exactly. Unless
for the most part. I mean, if they think convert to later, sure, but like
exactly
for the most part,
Because I mean, I've heard pastors say things like, "Oh, if you're a Muslim, you're going to hell," and that's not.
That's half of the whole world. You're basically. I mean, I don't know about half, but I don't know if it's half.
It's not our place.
It's not half. I know the Christian population.
It's almost half, right? But it's close.
It's a lot. It's like 1 billion. Let's say 1 billion people.
Exactly. Just throw that around.
Wait. Muslims and Christians, everything have more population. I beg.
I don't even know.
It has to be Islamic, man. I mean, I don't say that.
Christians are more.
I think there will be more Christians because
Christians are more.
If you look at the
Muslims,
if you look at
the
because you have to also include the Catholic people or them too. They did that side with us.
I mean, I'm looking at the most populated places like China and India, and
Christians.
They are more Christian than Muslim. Those places, like if they are not Christian, then they are like. They are Buddhist or like all this or that.
Exactly.
But they're more Christian than Muslim.
So, for example, now, right? Somebody that I work close with is, he's not Christian, right? But it's from one of those places that you mentioned. I'm not going to mention in particular, but I feel like he has like decent morals, and I feel like and even though he's not a Christian, I feel like he has better morals than even some Christians that I know. And then it doesn't just make sense to me that if he happened to die, maybe when he gets old and die, then he would now go to hell because he's not a Christian, that kind of thing. So those kind of things, I'm just like, no. And then, it doesn't really sit well with me when I hear pastors talk about, if you're a Muslim, they're going to hell, all this. And I'm like,
I'm not even going to lie to you guys, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
More Muslims are more dedicated to like their religion than we are. Especially when you think about how like they have to pray 5 times a day and all kind of stuff. Like Christians don't be chilling, man. They're living life thinking
my question is this: so is it that all the Muslims in the world are going to go to hell because they don't believe in Jesus Christ?
That's what I'm saying.
But according to the Bible,
that's what I'm saying. And it's not just Muslims, like it's literally everyone
apart from Christians.
Like exactly. So God said we believe in the Son of Man, but then we believe in the Father.
But no, that's another thing though. Like it depends on how much you believe the Bible. That's the thing, because it's in the Bible.
Christians that have not given their life to Christ. That's the same.
Because even some Christians, they still can't tell you more. Say I'm a Christian.
In the Bible, it didn't say Christian or no Christian. It just say believe in Jesus. That's the thing. So automatically a Christian. That's what it means now.
Yeah.
So exactly. So that's what it means a Christian. So you say you're a Christian, you don't believe. You're not really a Christian. I don't know if that makes sense. Because when you believe in that, that's so you say, you're not a devoted Christian. That means you're not a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Don't call yourself what you're not.
There's no.
To be honest,
I understand it. Like,
if we're really going by the Bible, right, and if we want to believe that there is heaven and hell, right, I can bet you that as we are right now, maybe like 5 people in heaven right now. If we're being dead ass, because
Nah, it go pass
Nah,
five.
bro.
They don't go play
Avocado,
two.
Bro,
They don't go play two.
President
They
Highest
go
God,
pass
stop
6.
that.
five.
Stop that.
from the beginning of time,
Bro,
from the beginning
do
of
you know how
time.
many people where you just
Highest.
castigate right now? We don't die from ancient times. We no make us.
Now
We
all
no
Oh my
serve
sinners,
God.
bro.
guy, oh my guy, 5 people is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh,
5 people,
Gino.
This
bro.
that guy.
It's from me.
Damn.
So yeah, I did see some report about the New York Times doing an investigation, and they found out that Russia has been the one spreading false information to Americans to kind of like cause problems within America. And I mean, it makes sense when you think about how Russia was supposedly they influenced our what do you call it, the elections, and was it 2016 whatever, to get
Mm-hmm.
Trump in, so like I feel like this is something they just do that could cause a lot of like problems within the country, that they don't have to like use bombs or terrorists or anything like that. Because apparently what has happened is like there have been Facebook groups created by people, and these guys will just amplify the false information, and then people want to take action, and that's why you see videos of people like burning down cell towers and things like that, like just causing problems for themselves because of the spread of false information. And it's like that is very, very easy to like. It's pretty easy to manipulate people with false information. Um, I see it on Twitter all the time, so I feel like yeah, it's crazy that this is a tactic by another country to fuck America up, and it's working. But yeah, that's what I wanted to point out.
It's still
Um,
possible that they're not responsible also, and
it's also
somebody
yeah,
take that.
Just
it
make
goes
it
both ways. It definitely does. It could be a conspiracy as well. But I
Right.
mean, this is something that's not that far fetched. So
Based on the
like,
history,
I mean,
based on the history,
what they did
exactly.
this election, Trump's election, right? If they've done it
Exactly.
before, why won't they do it
It's done
again?
before. That's how I'm like you
Right.
can pretty much give them some credibility that it may it may be true. Especially like yeah, because Russia, yeah, they be doing things, man. But yeah, that's what I want to say. Like there has to be a way to differentiate fake news and like false information, because fake news usually has an agenda, and then false information is just like it's just there to cause
Just
trouble,
trolling,
man.
that type of stuff. Trolls on Twitter.
I mean,
And like you see all these bots on Twitter that like there will be like the account will be created today. You see you see April 2020, and then before you know they're attacking some political figure and calling
yeah,
them.
yeah.
It just
Get that
it
original
doesn't that's
why they create
yeah,
account.
it doesn't like man, this is definitely a Russian.
Come up with a real. You say Russia. I see this guy.
No, they do. They have validated that some of those accounts created are from Russia. Like somebody, like a group of people actually, they were able to find out that they pinpointed the IP addresses and stuff like that to see that like
Okay.
a lot of accounts have been created, and they are just the only thing they talk about. They don't even talk about, oh, I woke up today, everything. Their own is the dashboard. Like from when you now think about it, you know that has to be a fake account. Because like you can't have an agenda 24/7 now.
Mhm,
We will
yeah.
tell us everything. You won't tell us what you ate today. You just start off, man. You talk say these Democrats are from here. Say yeah, this guy is here with an agenda, man. But yeah, that's crazy.
I was gonna add to what you were saying, Lara. I feel like when you talk about, I mean, as far as like fake news they go, I feel like we guys differentiate between like false information and fake news. I feel like when it comes to fake news, that's more of like a political, aspect outlook. And then when it comes to false information, now basically everything else where they gather from, whether not school or healthcare, anything that goes to the environment, because a lot of times the fake news where they get is always things that has to do with like political people and how much they're benefiting from it. Because there was an article that I read just not too long ago. Let me read this into you guys real quick. So it says fake false information is a business model, basically. So they said it is. It says the internet and social media have made it very easy for anyone to publish content on the website, blog or social media profile, and potentially reach large audiences, right? With so many people now getting news from social media sites, many content creators, publishers have used this to their advantage. False information can be a profitable business, generating large sums of advertising and revenue for publishers who create and publish stories that go viral. The more clicks a story gets, the more money online publishers make through advertising revenue. And for many publishers, social media is an ideal platform to share content and drive web traffic. So basically, like, it's really crazy, bro. Because I just they feel like say all this whole fake news shit. I mean, a lot of times too, it goes back to what Singh was saying in school, because like, you know, a lot of times if you're not educated, you're not gonna know what they right, bro. Like, person if you tell you something, you go believe. Now, if you don't know, you don't know, man. Like,
as long as it's making sense to you, you get what I'm saying. If it's making sense to you, you just believe it. But like going back to the fake news, like you said, okay, what would you guys put this under? I don't know if you guys follow, but I mean, most of you are not. I mean, all of you are not Barcelona fans, right? Barca fans. So like, there's a scandal that came out like February before this whole Corona shit became serious, right? So basically, it was the president of Barcelona right now, Bartomeu. Basically, there was a scandal that came out that said he was paying 13 Ventures, which is like a social media company, and that social media company was pumping like fake tweets, obviously fake tweets, but like negative comments against the players, like, oh, Messi was trash today, or your Rakitic doesn't want to leave Barcelona because he likes the money, his wages, blah blah. Basically, and they were able to tie that back to Barcelona because the current president of the club, was the one actually paying that company to put out fake tweets, because they saw that the players were getting more power than the board itself. You get what I'm saying? Like, the fans were always supporting players. If Messi says, this guy should be fired, all the fans will come out and say, fire this guy. You get what I'm saying? So he was trying to pump fake news to balance it out, basically, on social media. So like, is that considered fake news? Fake, like, what is that? Like, is that just
bro? It's all in the man. It's all
I mean,
bro.
Is there any way to even like validate it? Like, that's where it's tricky. But I don't hold it against anybody though. Like, this is probably unrelated, but I've seen how like, so some social media companies, they pay companies to increase their user activity. You know, the same way people can like buy likes and buy like followers, right? There are actual companies that are in Asia or India or whatever, that their onus is just going to create a profile and, cause activity on your platform. So for example, say if you own a social media app, for example, and these people, you just pay this company some amount, and then tomorrow morning you have 100,000 users, and there'll be active users that's going to be posted. Like, they'll post today, and tomorrow they'll put, like, that's all their job description here.
Yeah.
And that, in a sense, is how they make their money, because, more users, more activity, more advertising revenue and stuff like that. And that's how when you see some like people, like, you can almost tell people that buy followers, because like, if you look at the comments, like, you just see a variety of people that you might not even know how they even mix with how they're able to even like follow this person. Some Asian guy maybe has one picture on his profile of a dog. Before I know it, he's commenting on some Nigerian artist profile, and you see a whole ton of them, and it's like, I've seen that, I've come across it a lot, and it's like, yeah, this guy bought his followers, man. It doesn't make any sense. Like, some of them, right, the only thing they post is fire. Like, anything that you post, fire. Like, they'll post that emoji, fire. Like, that's all they do,
Yeah.
This is good, bro. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, nah.
But yeah, nah. I mean, everything I picked up. The only
thing I have with that Russian narrative is because, I mean, at least when I started hearing about this 5G shit, like, what a lot of people were using to like back up their claims is like, oh, they are tearing down 5G installations in China, right? Like, that was kind of.
But that's kind of like from the people though. Apparently, well, I have to go and check again, but.
I mean, I don't know how accurate it is. I don't even know if what they were pulling down is actually 5G installations, or people just said, oh, it's 5G, whatever, right? But let's just, if we're assuming that it is, then like, it doesn't fit the narrative of Russia trying to use fake news to jeopardize, like, to cause unrest in America, right? Because even this, like, unless you're talking about in terms of the fake news of, oh, it's not that serious, or is this and that.
No. They basically were spreading fake news of like it being from 5G network.
5G ahead. So that's what I'm saying. So if it's the 5G stuff, like me personally, like, because where a lot of people started seeing that 5G connection was when they saw the video of people tearing down 5G stuff, right, in China and shit. So if that's the case, like, why do you get what I'm saying? Like, we should have been seeing that in America first, though, right?
No, but I'm saying that like it's possible that like the information went out and it was targeted towards certain countries, and then people started acting on it. Like I said, right. So that's why I said that like because what they found is that they found Facebook groups of people amplifying this whole 5G thing.
Basically, the whole election all over again.
Exactly. So people are saying, let's go and somebody from my account that you don't even know be saying, everybody, let's go tomorrow, let's go out and go and tear down all the Yo, I'm just like, damn. I know this guy's not
I mean, even at that though, like I still feel right that a lot of the people that are championing this 5G trash is like coming from outside America though. Like I think it's coming from a lot of places in Asia, a lot of places.
But that's the thing. Do you think that's a major loophole and a major disadvantage to America? Because like America won't take down tweets, we won't censor what you search. But other countries like China, Russia, there are things you search in Russia that you're just not going to find shit. You can search what's Putin doing. You're not going to find anything negative about Putin. But
exactly. Which is part of the thing. So America should definitely be more susceptible to that kind of attack.
Right.
Yeah. Other countries, but I don't think that's the case. Like I think the 5G shit, I think it's just mostly in the African circles and like some European, like I know.
Africa, no, trust me.
I'm not saying it's not in America. I'm not saying it's not in America. I'm saying I don't feel like
there are more ignorant people in Africa. Is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I feel like that it's more like that. More people like that believe that.
Anything they hear from Obodo, you go carry it, man.
Carry it on their head.
Let me tell you something. There's somebody that I know, right? That you also know, fortunately, went to your school.
Call that nigga out.
Was dead ass arguing with me that 5G dead ass was the cause of coronavirus. The person, you know the person, fortune. Person was
who's
I don't. Call the nigga out, yo. I'll tell you when we're recording.
Dad, does anybody know that? Nobody knows that. Does anybody? I do not people have the same first name.
I don't know how.
Bro, Larry, you know the best. Everybody here knows the person. Everybody.
That's the guy is not that. I could start spelling.
It starts with B. And our friend starts with M. Our old friend.
B. Is it
BR? Don't say it to you. Got one second. So I don't say it that, but just say it.
Wait, how do you know her? How do you know BR? What are you doing talking to BR? Why are you talking to BR?
I think it's going to talk about that later.
But you see, this conversation is going somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know the ship left.
But I'm saying, like, this is someone over here, right? This is not, this person is African. Nah, this person there's literally, I thought the person was joking because they posted it on their story. And then I'm like, oh, you're joking, right? Like you don't actually think this. This person sent me a long ass paragraph. I reply one word. They say another long ass paragraph. Damn, yo, this actually believes this shit. Like, really?
So that's that kind of you see why do you not understand why it's such a dangerous game that these pastors are playing? Because there's nothing you want to tell that. See, before you actually.
But she doesn't know the pastor. That's my point.
That's exactly what I'm saying now. So
is she telling what the pastor was saying?
No, she doesn't know the pastor. She's just saying the same 5G, like this 5G.
I get what I'm not saying her story is coming from the pastors, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is somebody now that is educated, that goes to school for this country, right? And they're able to subscribe to that kind of shit, like wholeheartedly, to the fact that you're writing one word, they're giving you paragraphs, which means that they're even trying to convince you. So before you can even get anywhere close to convincing that person that this shit, like, you're gonna have to have sat down in the same room with that person for a good 2 months.
And they will still not.
I will still not even get there. So now imagine
I'm not gonna waste my time.
That I rely on the pastor. I don't know if you get me. And the pastor tells me 5G, and who are you? Like,
who are you telling me is wrong? Yeah, you're telling me I'm wrong.
That's what
your man of God is wrong.
Like, that's why it's such a dangerous game because
you wait till you know.
And they don't know.
God's servant is wrong. Are you saying God's servant is wrong?
They say that they close everywhere so that the government can install 5G. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
It doesn't even make sense.
So let's say they install 5G now. They want to so that they can kill all of you. So when all of you are dead, what's going to happen?
Right. Where are we gonna? Who are we gonna install the chip into?
Yeah, I saw one video.
I saw one
video on Instagram. I don't know what kind of cable they were installing. Like they're making holes and they're putting the cable. Then the guy recording the video was like, "You see, they're trying to install 5G in Nigeria," and he was like,
"What? Nigeria never get 4G."
Yeah, man.
Suppose they have to say they give you 5G.
Exactly.
My brother.
No. It was on today's Ednot Post and this page. I saw that shit now. And niggas were like, "You see, the devil is a liar." Like I try not to read all those comments. I need that because
that's Nigerian problem. It's not you to try and understand something.
I'm telling you,
like you don't have 5G service.
If you have 5G in your house right now in Nigeria, you know those guys can come and start beating you that your antichrist. You know, no, I'm serious. No. In Nigeria, they can do that, man. They can start beating you antichrist. This guy has 5G. That's Nigeria, man. Let me tell you something. Nigeria when they get something,
the beat person will just go join them. The beat person, come on, man. Best friend just
monkeys do.
Yeah, so you guys saw the shit about the woman from what country is that they said that they were able to control. Yeah, they were able to control the coronavirus with only one death, and that's because the woman was like, she basically said, "Nah, shut everything down. I don't give a fuck." That was pretty early on. You get no point because I thought about it and I was like, it makes sense because women naturally are more caring and more like they care, like they show more emotion, right? So it's easier. I can see a scenario where you're faced with, do I shut everything down and lose trillions of dollars in our economy and lose all this money and all these businesses and blah blah blah, or do I just kind of like dip my toe in the water a little bit and see how hard it is first and then put a little bit more at the time, until I figure out what to do. And she was like, "Nah, I'm not risking anybody's life. I don't care how much money is involved. Shut everything down." Right? And it worked. So how do you guys feel in terms of the way the world has pretty much almost made it, I don't want to say a taboo, but let me say a taboo for a woman to be in that, to have that kind of power? Do you think what she did is what other leaders should have done, or was she too emotional in her decision, even though it worked? That's my question, because obviously it worked now, but what if another scenario comes where the other way is what might be better? I don't know what scenario that could be, where a more political stance could be better overall versus taking a slightly impulsive. I don't know. Again, I don't want to assume that her decision was impulsive.
I get what you're saying, but
how do you guys feel about that? Yeah.
So based on, right now we'll see the end result. Now, everybody could suffer, and whether we don't like who really does or not.
Yeah.
Now we don't see the result. Yeah. So maybe to your point, I feel like women obviously have more compassion and care more about the people than men, maybe in general. But then you now have a woman leader as well. So someone that has qualities of a leader and also has compassion, obviously is able to make reasonable calls and things like this. And at the end of the day, we can really see the end result. Like some people care more about the economy and trying to keep things moving, trying to like stabilize the economy than like actually I don't think they weigh the options well enough. Like when you're being faced with a potential pandemic and you're now really considering like, worst case scenario in this kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? So this is the result. Like I had this argument in my group chat too, but I was trying to explain how like when you're faced with a scenario like this, it's better for you to take precaution and be wrong and get that backlash like, oh well, he shut down early, yeah, we lost what $1 billion, blah blah blah. Get attacked and everything, and then maybe you defend yourself with that. But when you're weighed with a situation where like the timetable, the outcome could be a possible pandemic that would cause like loss, like a whole lot of deaths and more money lost in the economy and stuff like that. Like I feel like you get a bigger reward if you make that right call of shutting things down early, and people would just at the end of the day, when they're checking like countries that did well, they would praise you for it, and then countries that like really fumbled the bag will just look like idiots, like how Italy is looking right now. You get what I'm saying? So it will take a while for them to recover, and I mean, we can just the only thing we can do for them is pray for them. But we're all not in a good shot, but that's my own input.
Yeah, I mean, like looking at the facts, like I was just doing a quick research. Like the popular other like female leaders are like the Chancellor of Germany, right? And if you read the news, like out of all the countries, like what world power countries dealing with coronavirus, like Germany is the one that's dealing with it the best out of all the other countries. And like obviously, the Chancellor is also a woman. So like, I mean, we're looking at facts. Like those are two powerful women right there. I'm seeing like they've dealt with it properly, as opposed to other like countries with men running. But like at the same time, I just feel like it's not just women. It's more of just having like common sense. Like when you put politics aside and you're just being human, like you were saying, right? I feel like you make the right decision. Like most of these men, like, and even politicians, because I'm sure that if someone like Hillary Clinton was president, she would do almost the same shit Trump did. You know what I'm saying? And she's a woman. I just feel like sometimes politicians in general need to leave politics sometimes and just focus on life. You get what I'm saying? On lives are at stake. And that's something like most politicians don't know how to separate. And that's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times, when you have a job to do and you guys do your job, sometimes you can't put like, personal feelings and things attached to it. If to lead the country, there's so much you have to actually like sacrifice. Like there's a mandate that you have to follow, and a lot of times, you have to take the heavy blows and heavy hits that comes with it, because not everything that you pass judgment upon, or even for your people, so if everybody go like, there's one of those things as a leader that you have to take responsibility for. When it comes to women in power, like honestly, I did hell out of women that they try, man, because like a lot of times they do things out of compassion. Unlike most of the men, we have an agenda, so we want rule. That's just how we always do shit. And like the lady, who is it? The Michigan lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
The governor,
Yeah,
something from Michigan, did the thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that I feel like she did the right thing. Guy, if I believe that tomorrow the safety of my people first of all go matter, like
But
that's not true. That's not necessarily true though. Like
bro, but no, you can't say that, fam. Like me, if I was a leader,
that's what I'm saying. It's not men, women.
This one feels like he's being personally attacked. It's not. I'm telling you, right? It's not about like about you for you or for this or that. It's just okay. Let me not say, because I don't want to generalize everybody in the world, right? But when you're in position of power, when you have that amount of power, right? There are some critical decisions that it's like you have to look at it as logically and as objectively as possible without attaching any type of emotion to it, especially when it's like either scenario results in the loss of lives or the loss of resources or whatever, right? So at that point, you're looking at which scenario is going to be, going to lead to the lower loss of whatever it is that you're trying to, prevent or whatever, right?
Your emotions doesn't have to lead you to like.
Yeah.
Emotional doesn't mean your emotion makes you to go to the extreme to make those type of decisions, bro.
Right.
No, like you can still use your emotions, bro. Your emotions can still empower you to still make like good calls for a lot of shit. Not saying that you throw everything aside or cast together. No, you don't have to do that.
No, I mean that.
Yeah,
like okay, go ahead, Sam.
Right, like from like what Justin was saying too. Like I feel like that's one thing that I also, if you talk to women a lot, that's one thing they hate, right? When you always say no, it's because of your emotion, you're too emotional, right? So I feel like it's not really emotion, it's just more compassion. Like it's just like if you okay, like for example, right? If me, I'm a guy like growing up, like let's say ahead, this is the perfect example. Growing up like Nigerians and all that, right? Christians or whatever, we've known like all these homosexuals, gays, like that's just I don't just fuck with that, right? If I'm president right now and it comes to signing a bill that has to do with gay people, I'm not going to do that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't believe that. So I feel like that's more what it is, right? If my moral is save any life, that's what I'll go with, whether I'm a man or woman. That's
okay. Yeah, I like you're literally on the point. I'm driving now. So maybe emotion might not be the right word. And honestly, like again, not like
compassion, maybe.
Yeah, like like say compassion. But even like that, take that scenario now. Like if you're a compassionate person and someone comes and they want to pass, like especially if you're a country like Nigeria, right? If they are, let's say the bill, forget the anti-gay, let's say the bill is to make gay marriage legal, right? That's the bill on the house. You as a compassionate person, you're thinking about who all those gay people that have been marginalized and like oppressed for years,
right?
Like, you understand? That's true. But if you pass a gay marriage bill in Nigeria, the amount of political, religious, cultural unrest that it will result in is going to be epically 10 times, do you understand? More
I think it applies to
than those few gay people that are being oppressed. Like the result of passing that bill is 10 times worse. That's why in that situation, it's not really about like showing compassion. It's about doing what logically you feel is the better thing for all of your people. Do you understand?
So you're saying you will not pass the gay bill?
I'm not saying. I mean, I'll pass a gay bill in America, but if I'm go try pass a gay bill,
wax, bro. Put it on wax.
Let me see.
Bro.
I am not passing a gay bill in Nigeria or a pro-gay bill. It wouldn't work.
So you're homophobic?
Absolutely not. But
yo, say it on wax, bro. If you are, just say it, bro.
Play, man. I'm not homophobic at all, but like you gotta play the card you're dealt, bro. If you're a Nigerian, you're president, okay, go and pass gay bill and let me see.
So what's gonna happen if that's a gay bill? I feel like
have you ever listened to a meeting of the House of Reps in
No. Forget they're toxic in their own way, regardless. Every way, actually. Let's put it that way.
I feel like 3 minutes. We have 3 minutes.
So when Obama passed
about Burna Boy, go ahead.
When Obama passed like the bill to allow gay marriage, I think that's what it was. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It was also like you said. I think it was the situation was also similar because I mean you have a lot of conservatives in America as well. Obviously, you just have more people that are like progressive too. But you know,
you can't compare, bro.
I know. I'm just saying, but it's still
like America is they're debating whether to allow them to marry or not. Nigeria is debating whether to send them to prison and kill them or not. Like
I guess it's
just like the conversations they are having. It's completely different.
I rest my case. The country is some shit.
Like they're trying to jail these motherfuckers, bro. Don't you understand? Like trying to jail.
They're not motherfuckers. They're human beings, man.
We're all motherfuckers.
Yo, but do we even have a lot of gay people in our country, bro?
Guy,
it's more than you imagine.
It's like the coronavirus. We just don't know how many because we don't test.
For real though, you're definitely
bro. Nigeria consumes the most gay porn in Africa. Nigeria
Are you fucking serious?
Number one on
the that's a new fact I'm learning today.
I don't learn something. Question: Where are you getting all this information?
Nigeria consumes more.
And you know what pass game bill for them, Abi? You sabi? You know what pass game bill for them? You bad man.
Talk a beg. What do you say? Yeah,
Nigeria consumes the most gay porn in Africa.
Oh wow.
What do you mean? People are talking. I saw the story on.
That is a very interesting story.
I never knew that too.